The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.
Hello and thanks for joining us for TV1 News. I'm Maricela Kelleton.
And I'm Jasmine Neru. Join me for sports news later in the bulletin.
In this edition, blood on high demand, police challenge to transform city, and hunters building staff capacity. Two police officers from the Northern Mobile Group in Leh, currently providing security at Basamuk in Medan, were quick to respond to a distress call from drifting passengers who was saved on Wednesday afternoon. Provincial Police Commander Superintendent David Sainer Jr. said around 5 p.m. police officers at Basamuk were informed of a 75-horse-powered passenger boat traveling from Raikost Moor village to Medan town that faced a mechanical problem. The boat, loaded with passengers, was floating in the sea. Two members from MS-14 and 4 men from Tugiak village near Basamuk were assisted by Ramu Nickel employees with fuel. They set out to look out for the drifting party and found them at Tabali Point at 11 p.m. that night. 16 people were found stranded, 2 children, 5 women and 9 men. PPC Sene warned the boat operators not to overload and to do pre-start checks before traveling out to sea. The police officers are now tasked to transform the city. NCD Metropolitan Superintendent Chief Inspector Silva Sika put this challenge to his men during the parade this morning.
NCD police have been stepping up on their policing efforts. The aim is to make the city safer to live in and businesses to thrive. During this morning's parade, NCD Police Boss Chief Inspector Silva Sika put this challenge to his men to transform the city to be a better place. Metropolitan Superintendent Sika said the people's mindset needed to be transformed, including those who leave their homes and travel to the city in search of opportunities. It is the work of the police officers to implement laws that promote civil living, cleanliness and safety. He said under the Constitution, Section 197, police have the power to manage crime in the country. There should be no hesitation in actioning this law. They must attend to all crimes and not allow it to go unresolved. Sika acknowledged police officers from Gordon Police Station who had been working tirelessly to prevent crime in the area. He said the Gordon suburb is one of the NCD's toughest areas to do policing work. He encouraged the men and women to uphold their work ethics and be accountable for their actions also. The police hierarchy has been penalizing ill-disciplined policemen and women, something that Sika says he will not hesitate to do should they step out of line while on duty. Gordon Police Station Commander Inspector Gabriel Guinea, after the parade, updated Metsup Sika on what needs to be done to help improve the operations attached to the command at present. These officers are attached to various sections like minor crimes, family sexual violence, and community policing. The rest work with public safety. One of the challenges is logistics in vehicles and fuel. Frida Kana, TV1 News.
The Chief Secretary of the Autonomous Bougainville Government, Cedric Himata, has appealed to the public service and the people of Bougainville for their support as ABG continues to implement key projects this year. Himata said 2023 was the year of ratification and the governments of Papua New Guinea and Bougainville would continue to have diplomatic talks and meetings on the agreement of when the ratification will take place. Himata said the focus areas for 2023 are improving law and order services, rectification, revenue and income generation, and infrastructure development. He outlined that the administration was working on improving law and order services by creating policies and legislations that will support police officers and increase recruitment. Furthermore, a fire service operator would be operating in the region due to the many reports of arson cases that have affected a lot of business houses last year, while the influx of the travelers into Bougainville will be controlled. Himata said the national government has approved a 600 million kina budget for ABG. Pacific Industries are here for another year as a beverage sponsor for the 49th Hiri Moale Festival. This will be Pacific Industries' third year to sponsor. PI looks forward to the milestone event in March.
Another year as a beverage sponsor, Pacific Industries is back to sponsor 30,000 kina in kind to the 49th Hiri Moale Festival this year. Company Director Everett Chu said PI is looking forward to the milestone event in March.
Beverage sponsor for the 2023 Hiri Moale Festival. This will be our third year to continue sponsoring this event, so we're really excited to be part of it again. And I believe next year will be its 50th anniversary of the event, so that's going to be a really exciting time for the city and to continue to sponsor it.
Chu added that back in the 1990s, his family would wait for the lagatoi to come down to the shore during the Hiri Moale Festival. It was something he held close to his heart.
Today is another milestone for this prestigious event. As Everett has mentioned earlier, it's the 49th year, and as we prepare for the Big 50 next year, I think having such corporate organizations partner with us is crucial in preparation to making it bigger and better.
He added that such sponsorship shows that the event has been building its reputation and credibility.
4 weeks left as time winds down to the 49th Hiri Moale Festival in early March. Chairman for Motu Koita Assembly, Daddy Toka Jr. gave an update on the progress of the festival during the sponsorship launch of Pacific Industries as the beverage sponsor.
The number of Hiri Hane Namos applications have come through, and we've got over 10 so far. So if any young Motu Koita lady is interested, I think the application details will be shared by the office at Motu Koita Assembly City Hall. The Lagatoi arrival, we were just visiting Gaira Village yesterday, and that component is fantastic. We're looking forward to it. Gaira Village are in full swing in preparing or constructing the Lagatoi for the 2023 Hiri Moale Festival.
About 17 countries responded to the invitations, with over 15 delegates confirmed to attend the first ever Pacific Information and Communications Technology Dialogue in Kokopo, East New Britain Province. On February 12, the delegates will arrive in Port Moresby and will travel to Kokopo. Discussions will commence from 13 to 14. Leaders of ICT government agencies in the Pacific region will be present, as well as Australia and New Zealand. More ICT agencies are yet to be confirmed. The people of Bana district in the autonomous region of Bougainville have received free internet equipment and internet connection made possible by the regional member Peter Samalili Jr. This is another major milestone achievement for the district. The VSET was installed at Tomau to provide internet access to the local area. Located in the old CDA building in the Beretemba area, the satellite site will offer high-speed internet to residents and businesses in the area, bringing them access to the world of online communication, information, and opportunities. The satellite site is open to the public and will offer a range of services, including internet browsing, email, online education, and job training resources. With the help of local public servants, the Ward Steering Committee had an awareness program on how to log on and explore online. Safety online was a key message shared during the awareness. PNG Ports Corporation Limited will be spending up to 24 million kina to repair the Aitape port in West Sepik. Acting Chief Executive Officer of PNG Ports, Rodney Begley, said this is an initiative by PNG Ports under its community service obligation to provide a vital service to Aitape, boost the economy of the district, and support the government's Connect PNG initiative. PNG Ports will work in close consultation with the local member for Aitape Lumi and Esen Mise, MP and the District Development Authority. Funding for the rehabilitation of the Aitape port will come from the blended financial packages of 1.5 billion kina by the Australian Infrastructure Financing Facility for the Pacific, which is part of a bilateral sovereign loan between the Australian government, PNG government and PNG Ports. On February 10, 2021, heavy swells caused the main wharf to collapse and was declared unsafe for operation. Mr. said Aitape Port provided a vital service that encouraged development. PNG Ports aims to kick off the project in April. This is TVWAN News. Among stories after the break, Aitape Port Rehab and Blood Transfusion Center.
With BSP Internet Banking, you can enjoy your banking at home, at work, or wherever you are. BSP Personal Internet Banking allows you to view your accounts and transactions, transfer money, bill pay, schedule future payments, or access your bank statements. Visit your nearest BSP branch to register now. BSP Internet Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSP, our bank, our people.
Whether we're playing sport, exercising for fitness, being active for work or play, just having some fun, or just chilling, there is one name we can count on that we know will keep us going strong. Skell Rice. Healthy, nutritious, delicious medium grain rice full of vitamins and minerals. Skell helps us maintain a healthy, active lifestyle so we can enjoy every day.
Skell Rice. Skell Life.
Open nets.
Very superstitious. Writings on the wall. When you believe in things, but you don't understand that superstition ain't the way.
Hi, with the help of Palmolive Naturals shampoo and conditioner, with these 3 quick and easy tips, I'm going to show you that more natural, beautiful hair is achievable. Step 1, massage your scalp during washing with shampoo. Step 2, apply conditioner to the tips of your hair. Step 3, gently towel dry your hair. There you have it. For natural, beautiful hair, use Palmolive Naturals shampoo and conditioner. Have a great hair day.
I want you to win somebody's heart. That's Naren.
I never asked for your help with anything, Dad. Don't impose your expectations.
I'm going to be the one who makes the final decision here.
Welcome back. Sir Brian Bell Blood Transfusion Center would be the most vital part of a hospital, and thus it is a universal medication that is on very high demand at the Port Moresby General Hospital. Blood is needed 24/7 and across the whole clinical medication, but the hospital is always in short supply.
Sir Brian Bell Blood Transfusion Center at Port Moresby General Hospital caters for patients needing blood in the nation's capital, Central Province and Gulf. A visit with staff at the center this week revealed that blood supply is never sufficient at the hospital.
As you know, the Port Moresby General Hospital also serves 3 provinces. That's NCD itself, the Central Province, and by road we service Gulf as well. So that's a catchment area of over 1 million people. So you can see the ratio that we're dealing with.
A screen fresh blood is needed 24/7 at the PNG heads to cater for a wide range of medical needs, including operating theatre, trauma, mothers in labor, and children with low blood conditions. Thus, a call to the public to come forward and donate blood. A bag of blood weighs 450 mils from a person's supply of 5 to 6 liters and can be stored up to 35 days.
Over the festive season, we've had some very low amounts of blood, and the challenge on the team here is to come up with initiatives and see how we can work hand in hand with our stakeholders and partners.
Blood is free gift from God, and so Brian Bell Blood Transfusion Center staff expects it to be given for free to assist patients in need.
The main focus is to improve blood transfusion specialist services and also fund awareness and education programs building up to blood drives. So we're on our final year this year of funding from the Brian Bell Foundation, and I believe this year we will definitely work towards executing a lot of our initiatives before the MOU is over.
Sir Brian Bell Foundation organizes regular blood drive from the employees of the company every 6 months. They also support by funding a few human resource positions, blood donation equipment, a 30-seater bus, and a caravan which is awaiting clearance. The said Brian Bell Blood Transfusion Center calls for corporate companies, schools, and general public to visit the center, which is open 24/7, including public holidays. Frida Kana, TV1 News.
Sir Brian Bell Foundation has committed to support the Queenped's menstrual health programs for yet another year in 2023 as the key delivery partner. Queenped's founder, Anne Shelley Korave, said they will be targeting schoolgirls, women in communities, marginalized and vulnerable women, and young girls, and even extended to working women in Papua New Guinea. Thousands of schoolgirls have missed class due to no access to decent sanitary facility and products to manage their special days, and because of the taboos and cultural barriers, many do not seek support or assistance and end up staying home during school days, affecting their learning performance. The Queenped's awareness team will be conducting sessions commencing in February and will end in October of this year, targeting 50 selected schools, 15 communities, and 20 workplaces in 12 provinces. The National Immunization Strategy 2021 to 2025 for Papua New Guinea was launched recently at the Holiday Inn Hotel in Port Moresby. The NIS defines and prioritizes the government's main objectives and strategies to strengthen the country's immunization program, which will also see a shift towards decentralization of the health system.
The National Department of Health, in collaboration with WHO and other stakeholders, launched the National Immunization Strategy on Sunday, 24 January, at the Holiday Inn Hotel. Secretary for Health, Dr. Osborne Liko, appealed to all CEOs and provincial health directors to take the lead and be responsible for the implementation of the NIS in their various provinces. The NIS calls for the immediate and urgent resuscitation of the immunization program to avoid further resurgence of multiple outbreaks like polio and measles. The sustaining strategies described in NIS for the immunization program will encompass all levels of the health system and all program components to reach national targets, and also to reach global and regional immunization targets set in WHO Global Immunization Agenda 2030. WHO PNG Country Representative Dr. Seville Husseinova congratulated the NDOH on developing and endorsing the National Immunization Strategy 2021 to 2025, which will guide the country's immunization program in coming years. She said WHO will continue to provide lead technical support to both NDOH and PHAs for the effective implementation of the NIS, with deployment of consultants in provinces in 2023, and she urged the PHAs to make the best use of their support. She noted PNG has already introduced vaccines against 10 serious vaccine-preventable diseases like polio, diphtheria, tetanus, pertussis, measles, rubella, and hepatitis B. She also encouraged the introduction of the HPV vaccine to protect against serious cancer caused by human papillomavirus, cervical cancer. The campaign is intended to prevent serious outbreaks and will be used as opportunity to strengthen all components of immunization program. Frida Kana, TVWAN News.
PNG Power has resorted to load shedding after a total shutdown of supply in Wewak, Aitape, Alatau and Kanudi in Port Moresby due to Puma Energy's month-end rollover. Puma says otherwise its no supply notice to PNG Power is because of PPL's significant overdue that remains unpaid. In a media release on Wednesday, February 1st, PNG Power stated that load shedding and power cuts were a result of no fuel supply on the part of Puma Energy. PPL CEO Obed Bhatia said this had greatly affected PPL power stations, who heavily rely on diesel fuel to run its operations. Wewak Township has had inconsistent electricity supply due to the lack of fuel to the Boram power station. Fuel supplier Puma Energy refuted this claim, saying PPL had outstanding bills to meet, putting a stop to fuel supply despite repeated reminders to pay up. Puma says PNG Power is well beyond its credit limit and is failing to abide by the agreed contractual terms. TVWAN News continues after this break with news from abroad. Stay with us.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSB Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase Easy Pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSB branch today to register now for BSB Mobile Banking. BSB Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSB, our bank, our people.
When you're spending time with family, when you've got a big day ahead, when you have given it all you've got, when you're putting on a feast, that's when you want the best. That's when you want flame rice. New flame rice. Win him, Olgeta.
He says the best Hunters players come from his region. So does she. But there's one thing that brings everyone together. SP Lager. Bongum Yumi. Cheers to 70 years.
I came from the remote part of Eastern Highlands. I have seen the laboring mother somewhere on the road coming to the nearest aid post to deliver a baby, and on the way somehow either the mother or the baby passed away.
We saw that his work was really specific in trying to find solution to the problem.
My wife, she's a midwife, and she said we have to build up a waiting hut so that we can accommodate those marginalized pregnant mothers. We all have a weakness and strength, and we must all hand in hand and then support so that we have a good community to live in.
This should be a warning for you. His heart is already at its limit. He might not be able to survive another attack. He needs an operation as soon as possible, okay?
You should be scared, kid, because your parents just sold you off to me, so I owe you now.
Wait, you sold Aris to Dante? How could you do that to him? John, how could you do that?
So you want to earn some big bucks, huh? You think you have what it takes?
I do.
Welcome back. In news overseas, talented young artists from Alice Springs have a strong showing in a new exhibition launching in Darwin. Exit Art shows off the best student works from the Northern Territory's most recent Year 12 graduates.
Respect for nature, family, and reflections on a year of uncertainty and isolation. Just some of the things young people from across the Northern Territory have been thinking about and exploring with art during their final year of school.
Me and my mum had a conversation about how important family was, and the elders are the most important members of the family.
Danae Moore has travelled from Alice Springs to Darwin with her mother and family elder Tommy Nungala for the exhibition launch. Known as Walkabout to Family, he features in her portraits, which are now in hot demand.
They were like, wow, well, why don't she do me one? My turn next, my turn next. So there's a big lineup of our family members wanting portraits done.
From the same school in Alice Springs, Mirakai Peters painted this huge landscape of a favourite spot, Trafina Gorge. Also inspired by his family, he now wants to become a mural artist.
My grandma painted landscape paintings too like that, so I was really making her proud too by painting this. Yeah, so she was a big inspiration in my life. This is actually a sample painting for hopefully something maybe 4 times the size.
Shanice Bayazer from Darwin chose her older brother Larry as a subject, reflecting on COVID lockdowns and loneliness.
Face-to-face communication wasn't common and it was hard, so I just wanted to capture him on social media looking bored, and it's great because this photo, it shows what society we live in right now.
I think it's really interesting to see how these kids express themselves and to see what are the things that are important in their lives.
And some advice for budding artists.
Paint as much as you can, and it doesn't matter if it doesn't look good at the start because you'll always get better.
The exhibition opens to the public on Friday and runs until the end of March.
Child sexual abuse victims will soon be able to pre-record their evidence rather than go through the harrowing ordeal of facing their alleged attacker in court. ABC's Rani Heyman reports.
2 sisters fight for justice could end a brutal court process for survivors of child sexual abuse.
My children have not received anything out of telling their story, except the hope that by sharing it, they could help the child victims that follow them.
The government says a campaign by survivors Pippa and Rose Milthorpe has prompted it to spend $64 million to extend a program to allow children to pre-record evidence.
It makes us very happy and just really proud.
Yeah, definitely what Rose said.
The program started as a pilot in 2016. It will also link children with support staff
who will speak with the court, speak with the complainant, speak with counsel on both sides to make sure that the questions are age appropriate.
It will go statewide in July, regardless of the election outcome. An election the government knows hinges on the community's vote in Sydney's West.
That's what I'm focused on, and if we keep doing that, I'm pretty confident we'll win Penrith.
More than $268 million will go to projects in Penrith and the Blue Mountains as part of its $5 billion West Invest Fund, which comes from the sale of WestConnex.
We're going to transform the empty paddock behind me into a state-of-the-art indoor sports arena.
The opposition is committing $26.5 million over the next 3 years to state sporting organisations like Sport New South Wales.
It's clear that parents and kids want to play organised sport in New South Wales, but the funding isn't there.
Funds the opposition leader hopes will land him a premiership.
3 people have been charged over the death of an Indigenous boy. The incident is alleged to have occurred just days before Cassius was attacked in Perth's east. ABC warns its Indigenous viewers that this report contains the name and image of a person who has died.
Fresh charges stemming from the police investigation into a death that caused a national outpouring of emotion and grief. 15-year-old Cassius Turvey died after being attacked on his way home from school last October. 4 people have been charged with Cassius's murder, and now 3 of those people have been charged over a separate incident involving a different 15-year-old boy just days earlier. It's alleged 3 men chased that boy and caught him on the driveway of a house on Dagmar Way in Swan View, an eastern suburb of Perth. The police prosecutor told the Midland Magistrates Court the victim was allegedly pushed to the ground and punched and kicked. The prosecutor alleged the boy had his head stomped on, was stabbed in the stomach, put in a headlock and punched in the face. The alleged incident occurred on October the 9th, 4 days before Cassius was attacked. In all, 4 people are facing charges over the incident, with one of them, 18-year-old Ethan Robert Mackenzie, fronting court. Mr Mackenzie initially applied for bail, but that was later withdrawn when the court heard he was already on bail for another incident when the alleged attack occurred. When leaving the courtroom, he called out, "Bye, Mum," and also, "Let's go to Hakea, come on." He's due back in court later this month.
The alcohol restrictions in Alice Springs are being deliberated on by the Prime Minister and the Northern Territory Chief Minister after new advice was found. ABC's Matt Garrick reports.
An outback hospital under immense pressure as Aboriginal organisations say authorities were warned.
We warned them that there would be a whole range of alcohol issues, domestic violence, alcohol-related injuries, and we've seen that now. We've got the evidence.
The hospital's emergency department is dealing with a 50% spike in alcohol-related admissions since Commonwealth alcohol bans lifted in dozens of First Nations communities mid-last year. The NT's leader concedes there's been a rise, but won't admit governments could have done better at helping communities transition out of the bans.
Hindsight's a wonderful thing, but for me, I think it's important for Territorians and particularly the East Coast to understand we have put in place a range of measures around alcohol policy, but we're also focused on the issues that drive this.
The Territory's biggest hospital, Royal Darwin, has also been hit with its highest alcohol-related ED presentations since 2018. And those in the family violence sector say many of the people behind the statistics are victims of domestic abuse.
I mean, there's a huge need in a lot of areas of domestic violence as the situation's getting worse.
Advocates say if more funding isn't immediately put on the table to help hospitals and support services deal with the influx, more lives could be lost.
There's people that have been abused, sexual violence, alcohol violence. You know, we need to ensure that their safety and protection is paramount.
The Commonwealth need to step up and we need to see needs-based funding.
Locals and visitors in William Creek in the South Australian outback rely on the local pub for medical treatment, but all that's about to change. ABC's Evelyn Leckie reports.
This is what it's like seeing a GP for treatment in William Creek. For mum Chantel Williams, using a spare donga for a consult hasn't been a comfortable experience either.
I've had a pap smear on a hotel bed that the poor doctor had to sleep on that night, you know, and I mean, this is, yeah, that's pretty confronting, isn't it?
William Creek has just 10 permanent residents, but in the peak tourist season, the population could jump to as many as 650. The Royal Flying Doctor Service visits the isolated town twice a month. It's a 1-hour flight from Port Augusta, around 500 kilometres to the north. And And when the doctor is in, there's no clinic for consultations.
You've got basically people that have been thrown in the deep end out here trying to help people that have had a major accident, and it's hard work. You know, you've got blood going everywhere, you've got people in pain.
In emergencies, patients in strife have sought relief here at the pub or at the accommodation out the back. But that's about to change with a federal injection of $1 million for a new RFDS clinic for the town.
Regardless of your postcode, regardless of the state or territory you live in, regardless of how many people are in your town, the government has a role in helping people.
And the RFDS will fundraise to cover the remainder of the project's costs.
It's a known fact that having good clinicians, good facilities and good primary health care models, no matter where they are in Australia, people will come.
The clinic will also house digital health technology so locals can contact the service while they wait for a fly-in doctor. Help is on the way. The clinic is expected to be delivered by the end of the year.
Back home, the Special Parliamentary Health Committee on Health Matters today inspected facilities of the Garahu Provincial Hospital and the Port Moresby General Hospital. Led by Chairman Pomio MP Elias Kapavore, the committee members saw firsthand the shocking realities faced by everyday Papua New Guineans utilizing public healthcare facilities. From people sitting on the floors, long queues to rundown facilities, the Special Parliamentary Health Committee on Health Matters inspected the Garahu Provincial Hospital today. Appointed on January 19 this year, the committee shall scrutinize the health department, ensuring health legislations, policies and required standards are implemented to attain high level of corporate and clinical governance across health fraternities. Chairman of the committee, MP for Pomio Elias Kapavore, expressed that the aim is to make quality healthcare not just affordable, but also accessible. The Garahu Provincial Hospital currently has the status as a Level 5 public hospital. However, clinical services that are supposed to be offered at that standard are not yet available. The hospital only received the status for the purposes of establishing the new NCD-PHA. Chief Executive Officer for the NCD-PHA, Stephen Yenny, says the hospital has a staff of about 300, including specialists. The Garahu Provincial Hospital was meant for urban clinic, built many years ago when the population was only 200,000. Today, the population has risen to almost 1 million. Meantime, the lack of clinical services which are not available at the Garahu Provincial Hospital include a functioning labour ward. Midwife Clancy Yawakian appealed to the Health Committee today on their visit to build a labour ward for the Garahu Hospital.
I'm a midwife, I'm useless here. My words to you is please, build me a labour ward. I need a labour ward. Build me a labour ward. I want to do my work as a midwife, deliver at least one baby before I clock out of the public service. Thank you.
Coming up next in sports with Jasmine, Hunters build capacity and PNG to host first edition of OFC Women's Champions League. Taking us to break is the weather forecast for the next 24 hours.
He says the best Hunters players come from his region. So does she. But there's one thing that brings everyone together. SP Lager. Bungum Yumi. Cheers to 70 years.
A journey throughout time that started on February 1929. La Liga is the benchmark competition, receiving global recognition. The championship with the most international titles and the biggest collection of FIFA Ballon d'Or. La Liga is essentially considered by the International Federation of Football History and Statistics as the undisputed global leader in terms of importance since 2010.
I want to remind you that life isn't about living in the moment.
Teamwork makes the dream work. There is no I in team.
You are an unshakable leader as you establish your values today.
My encouragement to you is discover God, because God then gives you your purpose. I hope that encourages you today.
My name is Lance.
And my name is Kaylee.
And we believe in you.
The beast is away! Oh, what a player! What a player! Flanagan couldn't stop him with a bazooka! Ratu looking good, goes one-handed, connects with Matawalu, in turn for Rumble. Holding back beautifully, Smith goes wide and not missing.
Thanks for staying with us on TVWAN News. In sports, the PNG Hunters' participation in the QRL is to market and expose our players to a higher and more intense level of the rugby league. Since coach Stanley Tapan took over the reign from Matt Church, he has now diversified the team's training program to include capacity building for the Hunters, the training staff to enhance their work as well. While the primary focus is on player development and creating pathways for emerging homegrown PNG players at the NRL second-tier elite level, PNG Hunters coach Stanley Tapan believes in upskilling local trainers and support staff with the latest training techniques and knowledge to keep up with the rest of the world. Tapan said since being appointed head coach, he's made a few changes to diversify the Hunters system to build capacity for local trainers within the coaching staff as well. He said the Hunters are very fortunate to have the services of former PNG sprinter Kupul Whistle and Mong Tavol, who is in charge of the high-performance programs. Having assistant coach Paul Aiton and manager Tom Batterfield on the team with a wealth of knowledge and experience is also a big bonus.
There's a few changes that were made. So Mong's the head of the high performance there, so he's got his support staff. Kupun Whistle, he's been around for a few years, Tigers, and last year Muruks. He's with Jiwaka, he's successful there, took the Jiwaka franchise to the grand final, I think. So, and then Ian Yarrow, he was with the Wigmen last year. Obviously he was successful with the Wigmen, took the team to the grand final, and it's reward for these guys as well. You know, as coaches we want to excel up to the next level, and as trainers and support staff, physios, they themselves too, it's a step up for them. So
Tepan said realistically there's plenty to do before they can be certified to QRL or international level, but it's a work in progress.
Elite level, so it's new to some of our support staff, but it's good for them. So when they progress through and the next performance staff come, they'll be also going through that. So they have certain time limits on when they get onto the field. When we've got the ball, when we don't have the ball, there's certain limitations. So it's really tricky sometimes, and the referee cannot stop play when a player goes down, all that sort of stuff. So,
Coach Tepan also shared some of his own experiences and knowledge that he picked up while working under Coach Church last year. It would benefit the team greatly moving forward.
Yes, like for me last year, especially being a Hunters assistant to Coach Matt and Paul, a lot of things I'd learned, things that I'd get away with here at this level, you cannot down there. Just the language they speak, not like English and Pidgin, but there's a different football language that we have to understand, and they do it really frequently and often, so it's normal to them. For us, there's some barriers in that.
PNG Hunters head coach Stanley Tepan has announced that Hunters will host the Central Queensland Capras in a trial match before the Host Plus Cup season proper kicks off this weekend of the 11th of March 2023. The match has been confirmed for the 25th of February 2023 at the Santos National Football Stadium. Coach Tepan said this is exciting for the new boys to get a first taste of what to expect in the QRL competition when the season kicks off. Capras have a strong connection with PNG since securing the services of former Hunters Nixon Putt and Mackenzie Yeh, among others.
Even though it's a trial, it's good to play back at the NFS. It's been a few years now, and it's be good for some of our new boys to get themselves ready, get their mindset ready in that sort of environment. It's only a trial, but I think the referees and all the other environment will be like a Host Plus Cup match. So it's really exciting for all of us.
PNG Hunters' prodigal son, Epel Kapinias, is looking forward to rejuvenate his old form when he dons the Hunters strip again since 2021. The middle forward was released from the Hunters training camp in 2022 after a fallout with former coach Matt Church.
The 24-year-old towering front rower is back in the fold, more determined and hungry to reclaim his status as one of the best props in the Host Plus Cup competition before his exit to join the Wynnum Manly camp in 2022. During his one-year stint with Wynnum, Epel made 10 appearances for the club, scored 2 tries on debut and earned a call-up to represent the country, donning the famous PNG Kumul jumper in the Pacific Cup. Since rejoining the Hunters camp before Christmas last year, Epel has brought back a lot of values and standard to the team, especially for the new players who look up on senior players like him for guidance and direction. He said there's a positive vibe among the boys who are working hard and showing a lot of enthusiasm at training.
If we come them, the boys no start one time start one time training one time, start the camp, sleep get up, kaya one time.
Epel said he's ready to share some of the experiences he learned from Wynnum with the rest of the team. He said for him personally, after recovering and rehab from an ankle injury last year, it was tough getting back to full training, including controlling diet, but he's managing quite well so far.
Just pick up them and that is flow.
He said being a prop forward or middle forward comes with a lot of responsibilities both in attack and defense in order to set a platform for the team.
I'm probably something where if you start the middle, you can you defend the middle. So you help him all backs to blue, even all middles have to, but that is when you make a little something so you tackle good, delay good, make your little something right or something right.
With coach Stanley Tepan now in the process of finalizing his 25-man squad, Epel said pressure is on everybody to fight for a spot.
Yeah, competition mi play all old boys, mi play come in mi play no permanent lo even any positions. Mi play still fight yet lo maintain this position we play start them because some mi play boys to come in all play to the props so only the fight to the position so every training mi play stay angry lo fight to this position namin.
Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
Papua New Guinea will host the first edition of OFC Women's Champions League in Port Moresby from March the 7th to the 18th, 2023. The Women's Champion League will see top clubs around the region contesting for prestigious Women's Champions tag. Teams confirmed to participate will be coming from Fiji, New Caledonia, New Zealand, PNG and Samoa, a Solomon Islands team that's yet to be confirmed. Meantime, the countdown begins for the Men's National Soccer League finals this weekend at the PNG National Football Stadium. According to the PNG Football Association, Ley City FC face a new-look Hekari side. Hekari coach David Muta will be up against Bob Morris. Muta will be eyeing for his first NSL title after winning the Conference Challenge. While Hekari will be going through a transition period with the young stars led by midfielder Yagi Yasasa and Obed Simon. Simon Emmanuel and Jacob Sabua hold the key for Ley City FC. The first match to take place in Australia of the FIFA Women's World Cup 2023 will be an even bigger celebration. Co-host country Australia is now facing the Republic of Ireland at the tournament's largest venue, Stadium Australia, in Sydney, Gadigal. Stadium Australia was due to host knockout matches only, but given the significant interest in tickets, FIFA has taken the decision to move Australia's first match to Sydney's largest stadium. Sarai Berman, FIFA Chief Women's Football Officer, said it's going to be an incredible start for the FIFA Women's World Cup this year when the Australians take on the Irish on Thursday the 20th of July at 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time.
We of course have the opening match and the opening ceremony in Auckland where the New Zealand Football Ferns will take on Norway. And then a few hours later, across the ditch, we're going to have the Matildas playing against the Republic of Ireland. Two absolutely massive matches, and we're expecting over 100,000 fans to fill those two stadiums and take in that momentous moment, which will be the opening day of the Women's World Cup. And it's going to be a huge day for women's football because we also have our fan festivals up and running. There'll be tens of thousands of people there, as well as what we know will be millions of fans watching on broadcast all over the world.
Berman said it has been a team effort, working closely with Football Australia, the New South Wales Government, Stadium Australia and Sydney Football Stadium relocated and the tickets will remain valid at Stadium Australia. And that ends the sports segment. Maricela?
Thank you, Jasmine. Before we go, remember to apply the following simple measures to prevent transmission of the coronavirus. Regularly wash your hands with soap and water. Cough or sneeze into your elbow. And exercise social distancing. If you're feeling sick, please stay at home. You can also call the COVID-19 hotline number for more information or assistance. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
The TVWAN News was proudly brought to you by BSP, our bank, our people.